Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Picadian.
Jared Brandon, way down in Nashville.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Lee Guitar Knobs. Lee Guitar Knobs.
Lee?
Lee.
Is that the new
if
name?
I'm a French man. I'm Lee Guitar
Lee
Knobs.
Guitar Knobs.
Yes. Welcome to Guitar Knobs
like
Podcast. We're thrilled to death that you are listening to our show.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yes.
I just want to say, first and foremost, I dropped my pen. I've been in contact with quite a few people, quite a few of our listeners and supporters, and just even bumping around. I'm so thankful for those who extend a kind word our way for what we do here on the show. We so appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you very
Now,
much.
Yes, not you, Tony.
No.
We have got a fun little show tonight. I
it?
think so. Yeah, we don't have a guest.
I thought we had a guest.
No. And wait.
No.
If you listen closely, you can hear the ghost of old Moanin' Rob out there in the wind. He's not
hate
here.
this part.
He's not here tonight, but he wanted to be. Anyways, so we are going to get on with this. We're going to talk about our I don't want to say it's not like an official NAMM recap, but we just want to talk about some, stuff that we encountered there and a handful of other things. Jared's got some big stuff he wants to talk about. And, we're going to have some fun, happy times. We got a great Would You Rather
We do?
at the end. Yes. All right. Tony, do you have any announcements?
This week I actually do. So I don't know how many people are familiar with the Mark Knopfler auction that happened at Christie's.
I saw that.
Honest to God, I mean,
I don't get it. I got to be honest.
God bless him. And well, I mean, especially in the UK, I think Mark Knopfler definitely has, probably the strongest following, and that's of course where the auction was. But I was just gobsmacked at the prices that things went for there.
And now, what they read at the bid, I think, was $550,000 about that. Mm-hmm. What it actually went for, all out the door, all the fees and everything, 693,000 pounds. 693,000 pounds. And you're like, wait, is dollars more or less? Oh, it's more. $883,401.75 is what that guitar cost. Yeah. What the actual hell?
Which guitar was that?
Mark Knopfler's.
Well, no, but this was his whole collection. They just had an auction.
No, that was for was it 50? Was it 59?
Yeah, his 59
Les Paul
Standard went for $693,000.
That's what I just said.
Which is $875,000.
That's about
I
double.
just said the same thing.
But here's the deal. So the whole auction,
You weren't even listening.
for all 170 some pieces.
It's actually 883. I got the conversion.
I just used my conversion.
Yeah,
My
your
conversion's better
conversion's
than your
garbage.
conversion. It's like 8.8 million pounds is what.
That's bananas.
I mean, and the projected prices were like a 20th or a 100th.
I don't understand.
It was crazy.
I mean,
so that's if
you
can go over to Christie's auctions and look up the Mark Knopfler collection and just be prepared to have your jaw drop.
Yeah.
Because they have what they expected to sell for and what they actually sold for. And a lot of these things,
that's the way you do it.
Are
you
his
play the guitar on the MTV. Goodness sakes.
You sell the guitar on the Christie's auction.
Yeah, jeez.
A lot of these things were just part of his collection. I don't even know if he played these things out in public. Probably not.
the 59, they cited the songs that he had famously played live and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not like he played, the song on that one. I mean, he was, right? I mean, that was a red Stratocaster.
Yes. Well, at least in the video it
Yeah.
was. But, it's just shocking to me. And, I hope those things find their way into a good home and not just in somebody's secret lair vault.
Of course it's going to go in a secret lair vault. Who can afford that except Batman?
Bruce Wayne.
Jeez.
So anyhow, I thought that
Did I
was.
just give away his identity?
You might have.
Damn it.
Oh, way to go, Todd. Another superhero down the
Nice.
drain. But anyhow,
That's right.
do yourself a favor. Go check out Christie's auctions. Look at the Mark Knopfler? No, Mark Knopfler connection. And
Narc.
I was shocked when I saw it. I actually went in that day that the auction was going and watched some of the things live. And I was gobsmacked.
Yeah.
So that was my announcement.
Amazing.
I have one.
Oh, yeah.
I have an announcement. So, end of March. Sorry, I don't know the exact days. Last weekend of March, there is a guitar show in Nashville. It's just south of downtown in Franklin. Todd, you were down there a few years
Amigo
ago
one?
with me. Yep, the Amigo. So they're gonna have a Amigo guitar show down there. Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, unless you buy a $200 VIP ticket on Friday. People like Vince Gill walk around there on Friday. I met Vince Gill last year on Friday, just setting my stuff up. And so I talked with him for a while. That was cool.
Are you going to have a table?
and,
Are you going to set stuff up?
I'm going to have a table. I will have a table. I'm going to be selling things like vintage pedals, and I'm just going to do a big dump of
If you
what I'm
need a
not
table
using.
mate,
So,
I might join you on that.
always room. So,
okay. So
yeah,
not a
come
table
on.
mate. I
Come
understand.
on down.
I get it. I see it.
No,
No,
you're
you-
fully invited as well.
No, I mean, yeah.
Nope,
Anyways,
I got it for you.
all right.
All
Well,
good.
let's
You
get
can come
on
down.
with our shizness.
Let's do it.
Tanya,
Yes.
what's going on in your music world this week?
Well, I'm actually looking up the dates for the Nashville Guitar Show.
He just said them.
He said the end of March. He
Okay.
did not give specific dates, and I'm providing
didn't, I think.
specific dates. Saturday and Sunday, March 23rd and 24th. Oh, that's right. That's the Friday.
Amigo Guitar Show, Saturday and Sunday, March 23rd and 24th. Come on down to Nashville and get them guitars.
Very nice.
Yes, all right. It's a Friday where a
Little punch drunk.
a little toasted.
So anyhow, on to what's going on in my music world this week.
Yes.
I think last time I talked about that I was interested in buying, and I bought a Digitech Mosaic 12-string simulator based on
Nice.
based on Andy Fuchs' recommendation on his 4 on the Floor. And so that came in while we were out at NAMM, and I had a chance to play with it a little bit this week. And I have to say, this is a damn fine 12-string simulator.
Oh man,
It tracks really well. The way that it's designed is to make it simulate like a real 12-string guitar, where you have your 4 lower strings are in octave pairs, and then your upper 2 strings are in unison pairs. And it does a really good job of doing that, especially on the high E and the B string. It gets a little bit confused if you're doing runs on the G string, because
Right.
there's some crossover obviously after the 4th fret into that territory. So you don't get the full effect like Roger McGuinn from the Byrds. A lot of his runs were done on the G, because that gives you the I guess maximum.
No one had the runs like McGuinn.
was that a Gretsch?
Was that a Gretsch?
What was that he used? Was that a Gretsch?
It was not a Gretsch. It was a Rickenbacker
Rickenbacker?
370.
Gretsch, Rickenbach, they're all the same to me.
Them's fighting words, boy.
Yeah.
But anyhow, Todd, did you want to try this out? Maybe I'll give it.
I'll try it.
It's actually a really good. I don't know in a studio if I would use this. It's very close. It approaches the sound of a true 12-string guitar, but I think in a live situation, perfect, because
Cool.
there's so much mud and everything going on anyhow. But in a studio situation, I just don't think that is as good as it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard some people that are playing like guitar
In the studio,
synths.
you just get a 12-string. I mean,
You just get a 12
you
string.
just do it.
You just do it.
Bada bing, bada bow.
So anyhow, so that was my. So thanks, Andy, for the tip on this. I'm real happy with it, and especially I got it for like $135 shipped. So
Not bad.
even better.
Yeah, good luck getting that Loctite tape.
Nah, I'm not
Business
worried
out
about
there.
that. I'll just leave it.
All right, Jared, about yourself.
Oh man. So I got a little Boxeroonie yesterday, or the day before rather, and it said from the guitar knobs, and I'm like, hey, that's me. So I opened up the box, and well, first of all, it was very light. So I'm like, did they forget to put the thing in here? So I
gold
opened the
brick?
box, and it was, yeah. And I pulled out this really, really, really unique and really cool guitar strap.
Yeah.
And it really sticks out to the other straps that I have. So thank you for that. That is really, really cool. It kind of reminds me of a really nice nightgown of like something someone in
Like
China
a kimono
or Japan
or
would
something.
wear?
Yeah,
like
like something like
Yeah.
a kimono.
or like a a robe. I mean, we're
Do you-
talking China.
You
so-
you do know the story behind that, right, Jared?
I don't. It's a Mother Mary strap. That's
No,
the brand. But
I
please,
put a note with it explaining it. That was
what?
the fabric that my grandpa brought over from World War II.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
That is so cool.
yeah. So
I didn't know that.
A couple
I didn't know it
of
was
very
this
very
metal.
close friends. I decided to do a little gift for them, and so there's only a couple of those in the world. So
I have one.
Yeah,
Tony's got one. Yeah.
that is like I'm really glad that I really like it, and I explained it the way I did because I totally remember that story about that material,
Yeah,
and yeah, now I'm super honored that I have it.
yeah.
You know, because I remember that story. So
And it's
yeah,
nice.
Thank
it's
you very much.
It's nice and long too. I mean, it is a lengthy
Yeah.
strap.
It's like I think it's a 60 or 70 inch strap.
Yeah.
I think it's 60. Anyways, yeah.
that
So I'm trying to get.
Yeah, so
I'm in
thank you
discussion
very-
with Mother Mary to come on the show.
Ah.
Yeah, I'd love to have them on. They're good people. So, anyways,
What about you,
Yeah.
Todd?
well,
you got me, buddy.
there you go.
Yeah, you got me
I spent some of my time playing with something that I got at NAMM.
Ah, yes.
Our friend Roman
What'd you get?
from Schnobeltone, who we had way back. He said, "Hey, I need to send you guys home with this pedal," and I had heard it before, and I was very happy to abscond with it. This is the Daily Driver from Schnobeltone, and it is really great. I am liking this pedal a lot. And so I've been experimenting with, putting stuff in front and behind it and everything, and I'm looking to. I'm sure I'm going to be playing live with this. So we're going to have him on the show, and he's going to talk about the Daily Driver. He's got to update to that, so now he's got essentially two models of it. I don't know if the old one is going to continue, but the sound is the same, and we'll get into that more. So
And if you'd like a preview, that would be episode 116, interview with Schnobeltone.
yes, however, he did not have the pedal line out at that point. So this is relatively new as of. We talked to them last year at NAMM, but he had a family emergency and couldn't make it. Anyways, so more to come on that. Very cool.
Love it.
Very cool. I'm going to pass this off to Tanya Bolonsky so he can try this pedal out because it's really, really good. Very versatile.
Okay, it's a Daily Driver.
Yes, and at the same time, a little while back, like I said, I've been enjoying connecting with our our supporters and friends and listeners. I have recently been going like pretty hardcore with the vinyl stuff, and really enjoying time with just sitting and playing the records and junk. And I thought, I should get. I've been getting like new accessories and stuff, and I said, I should get a good duster. I have a really good cleaning system, but just for a little dusty, right? I looked up online and I found these like kind of cheap, like sort of like Chinese brushes, like that are kind of like barber brushes kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wait a minute, John Williams from Grizzly Bay, who's been on the show, who is an executive producer, makes barber shaving brushes.
Yes, he does.
And he does these incredible like acrylic lathed things. They're really fantastic.
Yes, I sent him some material down, some of my scraps.
Yeah,
and he made me a very lovely brush.
I mean, they're very special.
Yeah,
and I said, John, you should consider making, using your materials to do these vinyl LP brushes, man, because it's a nice gift, and people like, especially when people get enthusiastic about stuff and they got vinyl collections and whatnot, you want to get them something nice, right?
Yes, a true aficionado.
Spinners, come here. Bring me my brush.
So show it. Let's see what it does.
So I opened this thing up and I was like, oh my goodness. You can unsheath it.
Ooh.
He said, and it came with a note.
Nice.
He said, Todd, thanks for
badass.
reaching out with this
I love
idea. I see what you think of it. Let's talk. I appreciate you, sir.
This may be some of the plastic that I sent him.
It might be. I mean, it is awesome. And it's black and gold. How cool is that?
Oh, I love that.
I mean, it's so nice.
Oh my God.
Like that's like a piece for a collector, of someone who is really enthusiastic about it. These don't exist on his website or anything. And I said, are you okay if I mention this? He said, yeah, sure. Let's see what happens. If you are interested,
get one
in a vinyl brush.
Yes.
A brush for your vinyl. It's not made out of vinyl.
No.
This is handmade, hand-turned, and you can get them custom, whatever colors and everything you want. Like, they are really remarkable. Check out Grizzly Bay, GrizzlyBay, and you're going to see essentially the shave brushes. But just imagine that there's an anti-static, very, very.
That's much larger than.
It feels like air, and it's quite a bit larger. Yeah.
That's really cool.
If you're interested, send him a note. Check him out. Send him a note, and he'll make you one up. He said he would.
All right. That's
very,
cool.
very cool. I was really thrilled to get that.
I love that.
Thank you so much, John Williams, for doing that. That was very, very thoughtful. What a absolutely lovely surprise. While we're just kind of shaking the trees here, I wanted to say a big shout out to Michael Furman, to Jonathan Jerusik, to Steve Keys, and to Sam Jett. And they know why. So thank you guys. Appreciate all of your communication. And I'm going to keep dropping this pen. So glad you're out there in our guitar world, my friends. Onward and upward. Tony.
Yes.
That's what we do here.
Yes.
We go onward and upwards. Hey, speaking of this pedal, this Chernobyl Tone and the Mosaic, if we were to put those on the same board, which would sound epic, we would need
and we could dust them off with your vinyl brush.
No, you wouldn't. No.
Okay, sorry.
Just get some end dust for that. If we were to link these two pedals together,
yes,
I am very confident that either your house or my house, or via Tour Gear Designs, you might find one of these cables to actually do that. In fact, you'll probably find a whole lot of these cables.
Yes, you'll find more cables than you might not think you need.
Maybe not.
But you need them.
Yes, you do.
You need them.
Go to tourgeardesigns.com check out the patch cables there.
Oh, yes. They're flat.
We say this with fervor every time because we mean it. We love this product.
Yes.
Truly.
The cable itself is very flat.
Yes.
The ends are very small.
Very small.
They come in
footprint.
a C shape and an S shape. So
Yep.
if you have to do some rigmaroling, like you
Yep.
got to go from the top to the side and the side to the bottom and all that fun
crazy
stuff.
lengths, all the different lengths.
All of them.
Anyways, go in there, load up your cart. When you're getting ready to pay, put in the guitar knobs, all one word. You're going to save 15% on that order.
15 extra percent.
They have been so kind, and we thank them and you for supporting the 4 on the floor, which we're skipping today.
Yes.
But normally it would be right there.
Yeah.
We hit 2 on the floor.
But
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say
All right.
so.
I'll tell you one thing. My wife just brought me a shake, and I'm really happy. So there you go.
All right. What flavor?
Very good. It looks like mint.
It
From
looks
the chip
like
shape.
mint.
Sounds kind of like
It is.
milk of
Ooh, I
magnesia.
just ate it. Is.
I love mint chip. Mint chip's fantastic.
That sounds like milk of magnesia.
No.
No.
Anyways, we are going to talk about.
You know what my favorite shake is?
Go ahead, Tony.
I like peanut butter shakes.
That's gross.
Oh my God, they're
Me
so
too.
good.
Yeah.
It's good.
They are so good.
It's good.
High in protein.
Shake and bake. Shake and bake. Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right. We went out to NAMM last weekend. Now, we got to meet all kinds of great people.
Oh, yes.
We saw all kinds of great things. We're just going to talk about some of that.
Yeah.
And after we're doing that, then Jared's got something that he wants to talk about that is not NAMM involved, but is involved with a certain brand that you might know.
Yes.
Fender has a great. No, I'm just-
Oh, that's not,
That's a great.
not nice,
Great
Todd. I could think of another one
Yeah.
that would be even better, but I
Anyways,
won't say anything.
Yes. So Tony, go ahead. You like kicking. You're good at kicking this stuff around and
Okay.
kicking it off.
So,
So the first thing that happened was I picked up Tony.
yeah. So here's the deal. So Todd says, I called him and said, "Hey, I'm in." He said, "Okay, I'll come down. I'll pick you right up." I said, "Well, what are you driving?" And he says, "I just got a minivan."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, a minivan, huh? Well, I guess now that we're in our golden years, maybe that's appropriate." So I told him where I was standing in
Well, I
front
had
of.
to get your scooter in somehow.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Little rascal.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't quite fit in the car that you brought.
No.
So I see this white Mustang convertible pull up. And I said, and he beeps and says, "Look at me."
I was thinking about having the top down, and I'm like, that's too much. I
Nah,
can't do
it
that.
was a little
And It was
rainy.
rainy and kind of gross a little bit.
But-
I look, everybody. I did not go there and order a Mustang convertible for NAMM.
It was bequeathed upon him.
It was. I asked for like a Toyota Corolla or whatever, the mid-sized blank car, right?
Yep.
And there was a bunch of hubbub at the desk. He's like, the first thing he said when I knew things had gone awry, knowing full well that I'm getting a completely nondescript economy blank car, he goes, would you be interested in a Jeep Wrangler with a sport package? And I'm like, what? That's not what I ordered. And no, I've actually have quite a long ways to drive. And so then we played, well, what about this? And what about this? And I was like, no, because they were all wacko cars. And I said, can I just get what I ordered? And, immediately, that is the reservation. I reserved the car. But they were kind and they tried to help me out. And, this is just a testament to be nice to people.
Yes.
Especially people that are helping you out.
Because you could have been like me and blown a gasket.
You could have. I could have. And this lovely lady was helping me out, and she's like, you've been helped? Can I help you with anything? I said, I've been helped. And I think they're getting the car right now. She goes, oh yes, you got the Chevy Malibu. And I said, yeah. And I kind of joked around and go, should have got the Mustang convertible, huh? And she goes, oh yeah. And we just had a little chat. I got the keys. I went to go get the car. I sat in the car, popped right back out because it was totally smoked out. And I said, "There's no way I'm driving this the whole week." And so then I went back to her after having a delightful conversation. And I said, "I hate to be a bother here, but that car was just completely smoky, and I need to get something else, and I need to get on my way." Because I had been there for a while at this point. She goes, "I'm going to go help you out." And she comes back, and she got like really up close, like it was some big secret. She goes, "I got the Mustang for you." And I was like, "Oh, good." Because I had to haul Tony and Johnny Morales around.
Johnny.
So I'm like, how the crap am I going to fit Johnny in the back of a Mustang convertible? Oh,
It worked out.
Bless his soul.
It worked out. He's a young guy.
He's so flexible.
Yes.
He's a very flexible man.
Very Gumby-ish.
And anyway, so that's what we had for the weekend. And you know what? We did take advantage of it.
Yep.
The sky opened up and the sun shone down, and we were just killing some time driving around down by PCH, and we had a blast.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Really nice.
It was really lovely.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you got that.
Me too.
That beats a
right?
smoky Malibu any day of the week.
Yes. And we're going to split the bill after this.
Okay.
Anyways, so continue, carry on.
So we decided we'd go up, grab our passes, and we did a quick walkthrough, I guess, after we got our passes
Very
through
quick.
the show.
We didn't want to ruin it.
Yeah. And, met up with a few people, bumped into a couple of people.
Yep.
Interestingly, it always seems we see Henry Cash, who was on one of our episodes,
yes,
every show
everywhere.
that we go to.
Every guitar show and every music show.
Yep.
I can't not bump into that guy.
Yeah. So
And his brother.
And his brother Bill. Yeah. Both very lovely people.
Absolutely.
I mean, they were great. And I had been in touch with Henry about doing a custom guard for him. So he says, "Oh, are you going to go to the OC show, the guitar show, the vintage guitar show?" I said, "Yeah, I'm planning on it." He said, "Okay, I'll bring the guitar and I'll bring my little pattern and all this stuff." So
Yeah.
it was cool. But anyhow, we'll get to that. But I have to say that I was a little disappointed with the NAMM show because it was much, much smaller, maybe half as small as the shows that I remember.
Like 2019.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was a little bit bigger than last year's, but not by much.
Yeah. And but that being said, it was still nice to be able to go around. They had a nice section set up for pedals, and a lot of the people that have been on our show or people that we want to have on the show were right there. So we were able to nail a few people down.
Yeah.
We talked to all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Joe Naylor from Reverend.
Yeah.
He's
Had a great
interested.
conversation
We're
with him.
probably going to have Tom Jones from TV Jones on.
He liked my glasses.
He did compliment Todd's
the first
glasses.
thing he says, "Those are really cool glasses." And I was like, TV Jones just said he thought my glasses were cool. That was actually like a highlight, I got to say, because it's rare that you actually meet the man behind the product, like who is the product.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely cool, and he said, "Oh, I'd love to be on the show. That'd be great."
Yeah.
So
that was
we're gonna have
nice.
TV Jones on the show. How about that, everybody?
That's cool. That'll be a highlight. I've known him for years, and I mean, I swear by his Filtertron and Dynasonic pickups. I mean, they are top notch without a doubt. Trying to think. I mean, we oh my God, we had a great time. We ate. We had a few drinks. We went to some really cool restaurants and things, and I just had a blast doing that. I mean, that was one of my
That's
favorite
Tony's
things.
favorite part.
I got to. What's that, Jared?
Mellotron guy.
No, he was not there.
Remember he was there?
He was not. He was not there. No, but the other thing I enjoyed is meeting a couple of Todd's older friends, friends that he's known for a long, long time, and we got to compare notes.
Yeah.
And we decided that we don't want to be friends anymore.
Wait, what? Who's these people?
Your
I
friends.
don't blame you.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a handful of them.
Yeah.
We also,
Yes.
so let's talk about some of the other people that we're looking to have on the show, and not by looking, I mean we've sealed the deal. What is this?
I'm telling you to talk into the mic.
Oh, am I on? I'm off. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah, how's that?
That's much better.
Is that better? Yeah. Bare knuckle pickups.
Ah, yes.
So we stopped by their booth, and even though it was a little bit smaller, there was no lack of people wanting to talk to the people that were there. I mean, we had to circle a few times to
Oh yeah.
and there's some people that I wasn't able to directly connect with, even though we know them.
Yeah.
So we spoke with Bare Knuckle.
Yeah.
Looking to have them on the show, so that's going to be kind of cool. We talked again with Surfy Industries.
Oh yes, Surfy Bear.
Yeah, Surfy Bear.
Those are the floor tremolo or floor
the reverbs and
tanks.
stuff. And last time we were actually working with the CEO, who lives in Europe and travels all over the place. So it was a little bit difficult. So this time we got that straightened out, and they have some really fantastic pedals.
Yes,
and it's almost not right saying pedals. It is more of effect than anything.
Oh, it's a total. I mean, it's basically
top of the line
it's a reverb tank that is floor mounted, and I mean that I when I go to these shows, I usually don't try guitars and things out, but I did want to try that out, and I did play around with that for quite a while. And they have a couple different models that were sounded. If you like the sound of Fender reverb, these things do it.
Yes, that is
Who
correct.
doesn't?
We spoke with Humboldt.
Yep.
Which is really, they make some really very interesting stuff. So we're gonna hopefully have them on.
How about our buddy from the bees?
Yes, Philippe.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. That's coming. Beatronics.
That'll be good to have
They
a
got
nice
so
follow
much
up
cool
with
stuff.
them. Yeah.
We saw them.
It's been years since he's.
Yeah,
yeah.
and this is the thing. It's like, we always talk about the quote unquote guitar community. Now that can sound like a bunch of hogwash, or just like something that we feel like we put ourselves in. Mm-hmm. We walked up. He immediately went in for big hugs.
Oh yeah.
And we haven't. Well, I actually saw him. I mean, it's not like we're talking to him all the time.
No.
But that was common, just the recognition, like, oh, hey. And man, that feels good. It just feels great.
The same way with Lisa from 108 Guitars That Rock.
Oh my gosh, yes. That was Lisa S. Johnson, who we will probably be having back on.
Yeah.
Who's working on a new book. Very exciting. We talked with our pals at Earthquaker.
Yep.
We have not had them on the show.
No.
I realize that, and I realize they are an Ohio builder. There have been a couple of reasons why we haven't. Nothing untoward, like we don't have a grudge against them or anything, but they're huge.
Yeah.
And they're very busy. And we just, I think we're just waiting for the right
that
time.
might
to do
merit
that.
a road trip.
Indeed. We talked to a handful of guitar builders that were, doing really awesome stuff. We talked to the Union.
Oh, Union
Tube and
pedals.
transistors,
Yep.
Union pedals.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, look to have them on the show. We also, let's see. I'm going through I'm not pulling out all of the stuff here, but I'm looking for one in particular. We had, where is it? Oh, yes. Ian Pritchard, collector emitter.
Yes.
Known as collector emitter on the socials, who is basically representing Vox now via Korg.
Yeah.
And we were standing there, and he comes up and he's like, hey. And it was like, oh, fantastic. Hey. So he is, he's doing all the Vox amp stuff. And we said, it'd be really cool to talk to you about this stuff. So we're going to be looking to have him back on the show. And one of the neat ones that I was kind of I didn't expect to see, but there was like a meetup after, which was actually kind of crazy. It was for the quote unquote creators and what the hell do you call them? Influencers and stuff like that.
Which we are.
Which just means, media and stuff like that. So they had like an after party thing, and Tony and I didn't really know what to expect. They had food and hors d'oeuvres and drinks and all that stuff, and loads of people that you would imagine, and
all the usual suspects.
But
there was one unusual suspect.
There was standing to my right, and I honestly I couldn't bring myself to say, "Hey, can I get a selfie with you?" Because I didn't want it to be like making like, "Oh my gosh, look at this." It could be seen as making fun of. Because honestly, if you're doing something, whether you agree with it, whether you think it's a goofball thing or not, just doing it and believing in the thing that you do and getting up and putting yourself out there takes something. And I respect that. I respect the act. I respect the purpose.
The effort.
I respect the effort. So,
who was to your immediate right?
Corey Feldman. Yes, Corey Feldman.
No way.
Was doing his own live selfie, and he kept holding it up, and I'm popping up on behind his head like back and forth, and then they called his name, and he walked on up there, and they did a little show thing. And it was, it was something.
It was definitely something.
It was something. Did not expect that to happen.
Yes.
Also at that night, I ran into a fellow named Nathan Rosenberg. And you out there might know him as the guy who does Beat Kitchen. Beat Kitchen on Instagram, I believe it's just Beat Kitchen on Instagram. He does a fantastic job of sharing insider information, if you will, about recording, being a better player, being like understanding what you're doing with mics and electronics and guitars and stuff like that. And he just has got a really engaging channel and presence. And I kind of pounced on him because I really enjoy the content that he creates.
You're a regular groupie.
I was, and he was very kind and thoughtful, and I said, it'd be great to have you on the show. Legit, because the guy knows, he's definitely a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
So check out Beat Kitchen, BEAT Kitchen, and we're going to be having him on the show.
Now, one of my favorite things, Todd.
Yes?
There was a section of boutique guitar builders.
Yes.
And our friend Dean Gordon from Dean Gordon Guitars.
Oh, my gosh.
Had these beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, guitars on display. And he's such a neat guy. Episode 349, which wasn't too long ago. If you listen to that one, you get a kind of a feel for the kinds of things that he's doing. But it was so nice to see these pieces in person. And then he was just so he was so happy to be there, and he was so excited that Paul Reed Smith had stopped by, Ned Steinberger had stopped by,
and not just stopped by.
They admired his work.
They were in awe of his work.
Yeah. So super congrats to Dean, and thanks for spending some time with us to talk a little bit more. But that was one of the highlights, I think, of the show for me.
Yeah, it was pretty great. And we also on the flip side of that very same table. Sully.
Yes.
Sully Guitars. And so we had a great chat with him.
So after walking the floor pretty much all day on Friday, we decided that we found out about a special off-site pedal show, which was
Pedal show.
pretty cool. It was held at this little place, a little sandwich shop, and they had beer and stuff there. And we, again, ran into some people that we've had on the show and people we're going to have on the show. Todd, you've got...
Yes.
Yeah,
I've got a list, man. What was neat about this is some of these are familiar players, but they all have new stuff coming out, which is really exciting. Alexander Pedals, who we've talked to many times and was like, yeah, let's do it. And, things just happen in life and whatever. But this time we spat on our hands and shook, which, was a little gross. But
that might be why I'm sick now.
maybe. So he's going to be on the show. We talked to the guys from Maris.
Yeah.
Oh, they make some really, really incredible stuff. And they were very excited, and they said, we absolutely would love to be on the show. So we're going to be having them on the show. And yes, while we are going through these and we're saying these guys are going to be on the show, we can talk about it a little bit. We're just really excited about this, so bear with us. Had a great conversation with Philippe Herndon of Caroline, who has something new coming out. And, we were trying not to hog these people's time, so we didn't get in too much detail with it. But
the place was packed. There were a lot of people,
very small,
and it was extremely small.
Yeah.
But that being said, we were able to reconnect
like an
with a lot of people.
Balcony, small.
Yep.
And lo and behold, and this is really cool because he actually remembered that we connected with him a long time ago. But one of the guys that put this together, helped put it together, was Joel from Chase Bliss.
Oh yeah.
And he said, I would love to come on the show, not come back. But when we first were trying to have him on, there was a lot of stuff going on in his company, and he said, now's not a good time. So that's going to be very exciting because I don't know if you're aware, but they make some pretty incredible stuff.
Oh yeah.
We also met up with our pal Dan from Old Blood.
Oh, yeah.
Who's got some, again, they've got great stuff all the time coming out.
And what were the guitars? There was a guitar builder there?
Yes, the guitars. Now, when they said that they were going to have these guitars, I was actually really surprised because, like I said, it was a very small balcony. Or it wasn't a balcony. It was like a tiny patio at this tiny little brewery. And the guitars are they're on stands, and people are walking and bumping into each other and kicking each other and everything. And the straps on these things kept coming off. I was holding one and it came off.
Yep.
Fortunately, my cat-like reflexes prevented it from hitting the ground. Mm-hmm. But this is Castadosa guitars. Mm-hmm. These are, I've seen them on the Instagram and everything, and I'm like, well, those are really beautiful guitars. They're just different. They look there's a familiarity to them, but but then it becomes all no. This is high craft customization and really, really nice instruments. Very nice instruments. Very expensive instruments. To be sitting around, kicking around in a patio, I was very surprised by that. But I'm awfully glad that they were there because we got to meet the owner, the founder, the maker, and he's going to be on the show.
Cool.
I am very excited about that.
It sounds like we've got a full year ahead of us.
And don't forget our pal Jesse Hunnick from 29 Pedals.
Oh, yeah.
He's got something new coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a lot of these guys had like kind of semi-built stuff. It was like the prototypes.
Yeah.
So they were really excited to talk about it. And they were like, I don't know if I can say too much, but let's get on the show. Yeah, so we're gonna make that happen. If we go back inside for a minute, we almost forgot. Bad Cat had a great showing.
Yes.
And it was, got to meet the people there, and they were very hip to coming on. So that'll be happening.
Yeah, those are some great amps.
We've got a lot of great builders coming on the show, everybody. And that's even from, I guess somewhat of a pared down show.
Yeah.
But NAMM show. And by pared down, let me just go into that a little bit. Like the loads of people were there. I mean, we're just not mentioning like loads and loads and loads of other stuff. We're just kind of mentioning a handful of highlights. You know, I got a survey from NAMM. And they said, you know, tell us all about your experience. And, you know, we're on a scale of 1 to 5, blah, 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 blah. And then it came down to the open, like, what are your thoughts? What would you like to say to help make this a better experience? I wrote a very long bit. Because I started kind of doing the math a little bit. And, you know, they put on a great show. It's very easy. It's very well done. There's no slagging that at all. I don't have a bad word to say about the show, the running of the show, and the facilities and everything. It's top notch. That said, we just talked about a whole bunch of smaller builders. We and actually all the ones that we just got through mentioning that were in the beer area, they weren't at NAMM. So those are people that were like, it's not, I don't know that it's worth it for us to do it, or they weren't prepared or whatever. It costs money to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the big omissions at this show, there was no Gibson.
Nope.
There was no Fender.
Nope.
There was no Marshall.
Nope.
There was no Gretsch.
Nope.
There was no Rickenbacker.
Nope.
There was no JHS.
No.
And I can probably count a few other nopes. And just, you know, not having them at the show. Now, you could say, whatever, we all know what Gibson is. We don't need to see new stuff. Whatever, we all know what Marshall is. We don't need to see new stuff. Those things can be said. And I understand the idea that, like, why do we need them at the show? Johnny Morales, who roomed with us from Oakland Guitars, we talked about this at length, and it's very much a domino or butterfly effect, because without the presence of those huge beloved brands that people do want to go see and connect with, the brands that we're all familiar with, they carry a lot of weight. And it isn't just the people in the industry that are going to see them. On the weekends, the foot traffic from just guitar enthusiasts and whatnot flood into that thing. Now, if those, I mean, there were big giant holes on the floor.
Yeah.
Right? Without those brands there, then people like us say, it's not going to draw some of the other smaller builders out, because they're like, look, if those brands aren't there, the foot traffic's not going to be there. It's expensive to do this. I'm not going to get the eyeballs and the meeting the right people and getting my brand in front of as many people. It might not be worth it. So it isn't just, you know, should they be there so we can see all the guitars? We need them there because they're titans of the industry. If they are there, and then people say, oh, they're, because everybody's been waiting for this to re-engage, right? If they are there, the rest of us who have been like, is it going to be any good? That's not going to happen. We're going to go. And people, foot traffic people who want to go see all their favorite brands are going to go.
Right.
Which is going to signal to the smaller builders to say, it's going to be worth it. And, you know, when you look and you've got this huge gaping wound of a space on the floor, not occupied by anybody, but then you've got like 10 pedal companies crammed into one tiny booth because that's all they can afford. That's messed up, and it's an imbalance, and it's going to hurt the entire thing, in my humble opinion. And now you know the rest of the story. Anyways, so I said all that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think NAMM will listen to things. I mean, I ended my NAMM membership years ago when they started messing around with, you know, how many passes to the NAMM shows that they would allow you. And then finally they don't allow, if you're not exhibiting, you don't get a pass, you know, you have to buy your passes. And I
Or if
expressed
you're
that,
media.
and I expressed that to him. They asked, well, why are you not renewing your membership? And I said exactly that.
Yeah.
And somebody did follow up and say, well, maybe we can work out something. I said, well, it's the damage is done. But but they do listen, and I think that their goal is to make a successful show.
Yeah.
For NAMM, for the vendors, and for the visitors.
Right. They had on the survey, it said, how do you feel about the future of the show and the industry? And I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. And I put uncertain, and that doesn't mean that the guitar industry itself or anything like that is going to crash. Now, obviously, there's a lot more people like live audio and band and stuff like that. Orchestra instruments and all that business.
Sure,
but it just. I'm glad that they gave us the opportunity because that was all on our minds when we left. We're like, we were the ones who were saying, no, this one's going to be great. It's going to be better. It's going to be better. It's like going and watching your favorite team lose, like they did last season and the season before that. Yeah. And you're like,
it's like being a Browns fan.
Am I going to keep buying tickets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, maybe we had an isolated experience in that. I kind of don't think so.
No.
But, and also,
No, 19. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
No, because in I'm sorry, it was 21. Summer NAMM in Nashville was even more empty spaces. It was bad, and that was, just after the COVID, and so I wasn't at this year's NAMM, and I wish I could have gone, but we didn't go. Fender wasn't there. But yeah, I I can kind of sympathize with you guys.
Yeah.
On this, I just can't wait until everybody shows up again. That's all I can say about it. I just can't wait until it's like it used to be. We all want it to be that way.
That may come sooner than later because they said, "What do you think of our banner for Summer NAMM in Nashville 24?"
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So they're doing that.
Okay.
Which I was really surprised because the last Nashville one, I mean, everybody was like, goodness sakes, that was bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that could help is if they had more regional shows. I know it's a pain in the ass to put a show on like that. But, back in the early days, I mean, the shows used to be held up in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the 50s and into the 60s even. And, I mean, I understand why they moved the show to California. It's a center of music, but it's also easier for people from China and Japan and Korea to come over.
Mostly that.
Yeah. And, of course, there's tons of builders and things in California. But I think, from East Coast people, it would be nice to have something that was easier to get to.
Yeah.
A Chicago or even a Nashville is
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's the whole thing. They're capitalizing on, Nash Vegas.
Yeah.
So, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to, are we going to go? Probably.
I mean, you probably don't remember the couple of odd years that, they had it at Nashville. Then Nashville was building their new convention center.
Yeah.
So they had 1 or 2 years in Indianapolis and 1 year in Austin. And the Austin show was actually pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. I like Austin.
Yeah.
I like Austin better than Indianapolis.
Well, yeah, I know. I understand. I'm with you on that. It's not that I don't like Austin. It's just I've been to several South by Southwest for my industry. And it's like, I mean, it's a thing. And you got to kind of be prepared for the thing, But that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to watch out for bats.
Sure. Anyways, I think we all saw a few things that we were like, oh wow, check this out. aside from meeting all the interesting people and everything. Tony, was there a standout thing that you kind of left saying, kind of would like?
I mean,
that?
the Surfy Bear stuff, I was really impressed with, and I will probably look at purchasing one of those
reverb tanks.
In fact, there was a guy at the OC show, the vintage guitar show, that had one there. He says, "Well, I really don't want to sell it, but I thought I'd bring it." And he was asking too much for it.
I saw that.
Yeah. So that one stood out for me. I liked seeing all of the boutique guitar builders. That was pretty cool. Celestian went all out. They had a double-decker bus there.
Yeah.
And, along with they're introducing their 100-year anniversary El Nico speaker, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, just off the top of my head, those are the ones. Martin actually had a very nice display, like they normally do. The one thing that was lacking, and this is another one of my complaints, all of the vendors had little to no swag to give away. I mean, normally,
It's part of the thing. You got bags of and I'm like, crap. I need stickers and stuff for our patrons.
Yeah,
guys,
no swag.
Yeah,
No.
none. I honestly, I think I left with I think I left with 2 stickers.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding.
I grabbed some magazines because they still had the magazine section.
And a bag from DiMarzio that I got a side eye from the lady that was talking to somebody who was like, probably going to buy 1,000 pickups or something. I'm like, I'll take a bag. Thanks. Bye. So, I was actually.
How about you?
Very intrigued with. We talked to Victory amps too.
Oh, that's right.
We're gonna see if we can work that out. I was really interested in the new Bad Cat amp that they had. The a little satellite-y look to me, but
yeah,
there are many amps in that form now. A lot of them are starting to go to that because it's so much more cost efficient than building out wood cabinets for the amps.
Right.
But those, I'm very intrigued by that, and I'm hoping that we maybe get to play one of those if we get them on the show, because we couldn't really do that there. Their place was swarmed.
Yeah.
So that was a little fun piece there. I did enjoy that quite a bit. There were a handful of rock and roll relic guitars there, and I really like the styling that they do. And they got the guitars feel good, so that was kind of cool. Just playing some of the guitars that were out there, and I got a picture snapped with one of the first places that we played. They're like, "Oh, here you play this thing, and here's a Strat," and I was like, "It started."
Hey, yay!
Yeah. So, but all in all, it was a good time. I'm glad that we got to connect with so many people.
Yes.
So many new people.
Yep.
Especially, I think it's important to do, and that's really the biggest reason that we go there, to make new connections and see ones that it's nice to go it's great to meet in person. So, we look forward to the next ones that come up. But for right now, before that time, Jared, you especially wanted to chat about something.
Yeah, of course. So people who are Gibson fans or non-Gibson fans that hate Gibson, I don't care. Since I left my business and sold it to Zach, who's doing a great job, by the way. When I went to Gibson, we had this thing in mind where I was going to, me and the team were going to take apart some original pickups and recreate the PAF pickup from the 50s to write down exact measurements and spec and metallurgy and all that good stuff. So in the past couple of years, we've been working on this, and we finally got this out January 18th. And they sold, we didn't have all 1,000 sets. So what it is the Gibson Pickup Shop 1959 humbucker collector's edition series, and this is the first series. It's a set of pickups, PAF like. They come in a lifting case with the pink interior and everything. It kind of nods to the old 59 lifting cases.
What's a
And it comes with,
Lifton case?
Lifton was the brand that
Lifton is
made
the
the brown cases
with the pink.
with the pink inside.
the brown cases with the pink. Yeah, and Lifton was a luggage company.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Luggage Company.
That's right. So anyway, so it's really, these are really expensive pickups. They're $1,000. They're very special.
That's for the pair, right?
In the sense of that's for a pair.
Yep.
They're very special in the way of how we go about building them. It takes a very long time to wind these compared to how we wind other pickups now. So they are very different. They're built with very special components that we were careful about developing, and I'm very, very proud of these. So we get a lot of hate on social media and YouTube and all that kind of thing for the price, but we're really aiming for the boutique guys, the guys that kind of know what these are, the cork sniffer kind of guys, and the collector people. And every time we take a batch and we send it out to the distribution center, they put it online, it's gone within minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a very successful thing. It's just so this is kind of something that I wanted to
Nick Cage needs a set.
allow our listeners. I wish, but I wanted to just kind of give our listeners a take of what these are from me, and I pretty much led this project anyhow. So I just wanted to give the guitar knob listeners to ask me questions.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question.
Yes.
So, in your opinion, because I know that you've worked with original PAFs and you've probably dealt with other similar things. I don't know if you've done anything with like throwbacks or bare knuckles or some of the other people who are winding PAF clone type things. Do you feel that these Gibson reissues are closer to original 59s than some other builders?
Some other builders, yes. And then there are some builders that I know of out there that may be just as close.
Okay.
But there's always speculation out there. There's unanswered questions, and these are no exception. People are going to probably have some unanswered questions about where do we get the magnets? Where, is that the correct steel pull shoe? Is this the right,
it sounds,
but I know these are, but go ahead.
It sounds like the case to be made for these is there are loads of people who have and will continue to emulate what, the classic PAF sound pickup. Right?
Yeah.
You have the originator of it putting an entire team to recreate what they actually created. So it's still coming from the source. And, as we talked, previous, like no expense was, spared in making sure that these were as close to the original everything as possible. I think you could say, does this one sound better? It's like, that's kind of not the point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're going to sound great. And loads of other pickups sound great too. But this is as close as you are possibly going to get to the actual thing from the actual company that made the actual thing.
Yeah.
Fair
Hit
to
the
say?
head on the nail, man. Thanks for that. Yeah. That's our goal. And we only want to do we only wanted to do 1,000 of these, just to also add value to the product as well.
Yeah.
So there's only 1,000 available. That's probably another reason why they go really quick.
Yeah.
And I hope if you're a fan or if you want to pair these, just pay attention to the website. And if you want to read more about this, just go to the Gibson website and look up the Gazette.
Yeah.
The Gazette's kind of like, it's just news and stuff like that. And you'll see my hand, my watch, and my ring in the pictures.
I think that this would be really appealing to, like, say, somebody that can't afford a 59 or something like that, or heck, anything around there, because the prices of these guitars are like bananas, right? But if you were building a
custom shop,
or a refit, not even a custom shop. If you got one and you're like, you know what, I know it's not the real thing. It's never going to be the real thing. I'm gonna make my own, greenie guitar, or you're just customizing your own Les Paul, whatever year you might have, to try to get as close to that thing that you love. This would be the cherry on the cake, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is it, and it's kind of, I see myself in this because I worked on it for so long, so I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, and I just want to touch on that cherry on the cake thing a little bit, because it's like, oh yeah, but they're $1,000. Yeah, but if you have a guitar that is within reach, say you have something like that's around, much less, right? What a standard Gibson or something, but you're trying to get that, like vibe, that $1,000 into that guitar, making it the thing that you truly want, is far different than saying, well, I'm just going to hold out until I have $20,000 to $500,000. So that sounds actually like a pretty good deal, all in all.
It is, and if you compare the price to other high-end boutique, you'll see that this price kind of falls within the same. You'll look at 2 or 3 other pickup companies out there, and they charge a little more.
Oh yeah,
well.
No, I think
A guy right down the road from me, he charges way more.
Yep.
So that lives in Jolton, Tennessee. So Mr. Tom Holmes, whom I love and respect. So
yeah, I mean, and I think that's just it. I mean, to us just sitting around here spending $1,000 on pickups, that's certainly not in my reality. But there are a lot of people that are just doing that, and they're,
if you sold 10 of your guitars from DHgate, you could buy them.
Wow, since you put it that way, Todd, maybe that's what I'll do. Jeez. But I think there are people. I mean, there's people that seek out, original 59s and early 60s PAFs. And put them in different guitars
or hardware. Like I want the original ones.
Yeah,
$10,000 for an original set if you're lucky.
Yeah,
I tell you what, it's funny because depending on where you are in the guitar ownership or collectordom, you could look at it and like, that's insane. Why would anybody do that, right? So in comparison, I've mentioned before I believe on the show, like when I was going through college, I worked at a vintage Porsche restoration shop, and we had tons and tons of parts that we pulled off of all these cars that would come in and everything, and we'd sell them all over the world. My boss said, "Hey, I need you to send these things to Australia," and I was like, "Okay," and I went out to the bench, and on this newspaper were these two front bumper grommets or guards, the vertical ones that went on the old 356 Porsches. Actually, I think these might have gone on an American Roadster, if I'm correct. I believe it was that. So, anyways, which is like nobody. That is stupid money. Those things, because they only made it. Anyways, so I said, okay, and I'm looking at him, and it literally looks like someone just glued cornflakes to these things. There was no chrome on it. There was no finish. They were literally just crumbling. And I said, what do you want me to insure it for? Because we insure everything that would go up. He said, let's put about $5,000 on it. I was like, excuse me. What? These, I was just flabbergasted, and I probably have forgotten it. It might have even been more at that time. I know that it was definitely over $5,000 because we had to have special form for it and all that stuff. So the lengths that people will go to make the thing that they want, that they got to have, they'll make it happen. And this is to me, this feels like the bumper guards, you know?
Yeah.
So
Very nice.
yeah. Anyways, that's what we got. So Jared, good luck with that, and congratulations on your role in the creation of these. That's
that's
pretty
very cool.
awesome.
That's
you
cool.
know, it's not like you just came up with another pickup. You guys kind of hit the holy grail product right there as far as those goes. And they're not going to be any new ones that are more than that. So, and I don't mean money wise. I mean more PAF-y.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, thank you very much, and the team that I'm on also helped a lot. So I couldn't have done it without them.
Yes, it's not. We know that you weren't a one-man
It's not
show
just
there,
me,
but
yeah, I mean,
you had a big hand in that, and that's to be commended. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to shuffle off to Nashville right now, grabbing the old El Camino.
Yes.
yes.
We're going to pick up Jared, and he's got a little something for us here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's come to the time of the show which we want to play a little game of. Would you rather?
All right. Yes.
Wow.
So you're walking down the street, and Todd, take it from here, buddy.
Yes. You happen to be visiting jolly old England. Jolly old England.
Jolly.
And, you have one thing left to do. You're looking for that double-decker bus to come pick you up and take you to the London Eye.
Aye.
The great big, the biggest Ferris wheel in the world.
When suddenly, unbeknownst to you, you board the last double-decker bus in the route. On the top level, you're seated next to the only person on the top. There's only one other person. who is that?
It's a lonely person. It's Neil Young.
Neil Young.
Neil Young is in town, and he's riding all
Rocking in
by
the
himself on the top of this double-decker bus.
Was he getting all teared up or anything, or?
He seemed to be very lonely.
Aww.
And he said, I just played the show and I wanted to see the sights and sounds and just have some quiet time and sit up on this Ferris wheel. It would mean a lot if you would sit with me on the Ferris wheel. Mm-hmm. Now you're thinking to yourself, he's an ornery old cuss.
Yes.
Love him or hate him, he is an ornery cuss. I'm going to be up there about an hour, I imagine.
Not quite an hour.
Almost an hour. A British hour. It's in pounds. It's okay.
Oh, okay. It's metric.
Yes, it's in metric. Hey, it takes a while. You got to be up there for a long time. That's a long time to be with an ornery old cuss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did he bathe recently?
Yeah. That's hard to tell. The London fog was coating him in soot. Anyways, so he says, "Look, I know this is a tough ask, but if you do, I'm going to give you Old Black."
Ah.
And you're like, "What?"
That's a cool guitar.
Okay. And you say, I need to think about this. Go downstairs to find out how much longer you have to go on the trip, so to think about it.
Is there anybody downstairs?
Lo
And?
behold, someone
it?
else has boarded. also looking very lonely.
Aw.
Yes, unmistakable in his attire,
Fervor.
his fervor, with his cut off sleeve flannel
Of
shirt.
course. But of course.
Ted Nugent
The Wango, the Tango.
is all by himself in London.
Wow.
And now you said, well, I just got downstairs from one of the orneriest cusses in rock and roll. And now I'm encountering the other ornery cuss. in rock and roll.
Well, now you talked about a cut-off sleeved flannel shirt. That
Yes.
could also be Neil Young's attire.
It could be, but not in this case.
Okay.
Don't mess with my vision. Anyways, and he's looking a little forlorn. His head's down, and you say, "Mr. Nugent, what's wrong?" He says, "I just got out of the show, and I just want some quiet, and I want to see the city. I didn't get to see it, and I'm awful lonely." And you say, "Really?" He says, "I know it's a big ask, but hey, would you do me the honor of sitting with me on the ride? I'll give you."
He's going to the London Eye as well?
He's going to the London Eye as well.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
And Tony, what does he have with him?
Oh, I believe he has his favorite
Birdland,
Gibson Birdland.
The Birdland. That's
Yeah.
right. We're faced with a very different kind of dilemma here. 'Cause
Yes.
both are probably not ideal situations.
No.
So you got to make the best of it. So the question is, would you rather sit on the London Eye for about an hour in the dark, in the cold, listening to an ornery old cuss named Neil Young, or an ornery old cuss named Ted Nugent? Tony.
I mean, it's relatively easy for me.
Okay.
Because if there were an escape hatch in the London Eye and I was stuck in it with Ted Nugent,
Yeah.
I might leap to my death.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with Uncle Neil,
Okay.
and maybe he'll even sing me some of his lovely songs while we're going around.
Yes. Some of the early stuff.
Yeah, the early stuff. I'll take the early stuff.
Yeah.
Although I do like some of the later stuff too.
Yeah.
It's
You
pretty
just
cool.
got to keep him singing so he doesn't,
Yeah, but it would be worth it to get Black.
Yes.
That's a
Borderline unplayable at this stage, as I understand.
It probably is. I mean, he's been playing it since
Well,
the
he can play it,
1970s.
but, nobody else can.
Yeah. So that's my choice. Sorry, Ted, ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Neil.
Okay. Jared, what are you gonna do?
Not a tough decision for me either, and probably some of the same reasoning, as Uncle Tony Bolonsky here. But at least I could relate with Ted on Michigan. We can talk Michigan stuff, and because I lived up there for a while. He's from Jackson, and I know a few folks around there. Yada yada. But that's about it. Other than that, I would rather just fall asleep and keep one eye open. I'm going to go and endure Neil Young.
Todd.
Well, to me, this one is difficult because, in all honesty, I'd probably rather have the Birdland. I don't know. I like a big giant cutaway. It's cool, It looks freaking cool. It's rock and roll, man.
No, it's a cool guitar. I mean,
Because I really would not like to have Blackie. I know that sounds crazy, but no, I can't. I gotta go with Neil.
all right.
I gotta go with Neil.
There you go.
I do really like.
There we
it.
are.
Boy, his early stuff is so good.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, we got to thank a few people.
Todd, there's a special group of people that we love to thank at this point of the show.
Who are they?
Well, we like to call them our executive producers. Now, an executive producer makes this show possible. How do they make the show possible?
I don't know.
How do they do it?
They are patrons on patreon.com. How do you become one? Go to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate, become a friend, a sponsor, a patron, a hero of the podcast. Each level comes with some very, very nice thank you gifts. And, eligibility to get in our giveaways. Yes.
Ooh.
All the good stuff.
Love it.
But as an executive producer, there's one thing more. Jared, what would that be?
Well, you get to have your name read on the thing.
Your name read on the thing. That's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers. Vader and Pedals, John Halverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Micah D, Richard Kendall, James White, Motender Guitars, Anthony Gemalero, Bill Gola Guitars, John Esterly from Rare Buzz Effects, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Senchuk, Ken Sayers, Darren Gregory, Tom Brazen, Rusty Sneeden, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology. What? Don Kloss, Gregory Randall, Brett Hogarth, Eric Hemmer, Stuart George, Michael Furman, James Bell, James Romer, Cameron Pampas, Trevor Ellenberg, Christopher Logan, and John Sebastian.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, but wait, Todd, there's more because there's a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. Now, these fine folks are the top of the heap, the pick of the crop, the A number ones,
Yes.
shall we say?
Say it.
So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs. Tommy Manasco, Ricardo Iguereda, David Kaminga, Brandon Wound Pickups.
That's right.
Hex Matos, Michio Murakishi, Bob Crouch, Jack Cadian, Sam Jett, Tyler K.C. Rhines, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, James Pennington, Steve Keys, Cody Foster, Science of Sound, Brian Robinson, Jonathan Jerusik from 12th Hour Devices, Corey Nigro, Michael Van Zant, Tim Nowak, Jonathan Daly, Martin Cliff, Sean S. David Poe, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Congregation Gear Demos, Paul Von Eppinger, Scott Sullivan, Great Lakes Guitar Pickups, Matt Hart, Enrico Fernando, Moon Guitars, Adam Johnson, Eric Edwards, and David Tyndall. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. Well, we truly thank you for your help and your kindness and thoughtfulness, all of you guys out there. Please keep up sending us your thoughts and whatnot and
prayers.
Supporting the show. Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and lots of great guests coming up. We already mentioned that.
Yep.
So, anyways, I just don't want to stop the show.
It has to
All right,
end.
everybody, have a fantastic good time. Wait, no, we got to. Tony, where can you get your stuff?
Yeah, head over
Oh man, that was close.
to.
Ooh, it almost went over the cliff.
Back up that El Camino.
Yeah.
Head over to pickguardian.com. Just check out some of the things that I have available for sale there. But I also do custom work, so shoot me an email. Let me know what you're trying to do, what you need, what material you want, and I will make it happen.
All right, Jared.
So, if you want to chat with me and get my opinion on whatever, or just talk about funny things, which is always a good time, Jared .allen.brandon on Instagram, and Pickups sent me a really cool thing about his lightning bolt pickup, and it's shaped like a lightning bolt. Great sounding pickup. Thank you for that. So I'm chatting with him now and again, and it's a good time. So hit me up.
All right, there you go. You can send me an email, Todd at theguitarknobs.com. Better luck maybe at guitarknobs on Instagram. DM me. Send us some stuff. If you need me to share it with the guys, I will. But it would be lovely to talk to you. You can also check out the Valentinos as you're driving around, listening after you listen to this on the weekend or whatever. So for some good old feel-good rock and roll.
Yeah.
Aside from that, now it's time to say, have a fantastic Guitar Week and subscribe!
Yeah. I can't humor. I can't humor you with any type of answer.
We're close because I can
I'm
hear him
not doing
smiling.
it. I want to sleep.
Ooey gooey, rich and chewy inside.
All right. Yeah, Steven. Jared, do you have to fly first class?
I do.
I can't imagine.
One of my bosses, Matt
out of
Kaler,
this
he's like,
Tender, cakey, golden flaky outside. Oh! I have an announcement.
You have an announcement? We haven't even started yet.
I have an announcement.
They're
Wrap
delicious.
the inside on the outside. It's a good darn tootin' showing the big fig Newton. One more time.
Fig Newtons.
See,
Two Fig Newtons. I love Fig Newtons.
I like raspberry. I like
No,
raspberry.
that's not a
Newtons.
Fig Newton. Is it bad? It sounds bad.
No, it's good.
Oh, okay. Why'd you make it sound bad?
I'm sorry. The big fig Newton.
Newton.
Here's the tricky part.
but Michigan makes some really good. They got some really good beers up there.
Yeah. Well, these are
Michigan-
pretzels. Let's do
Are
this.
you? You're eating meat, right?
Yes.
You eat meat again.
Yes.
Nice. All right, let's do this.
I know. Everybody's so happy for me. It's hilarious. Like, what? Did you miss me or something? Like, what? What happened?
big fig Newton.
Yeah. They're delicious. And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.